Hello, Sun Lakes. I'm Anita Lawrence, your Good Day Sun Lakes host, and I'd like to welcome you to Coffee with the GM. Christopher Mitchell, the Sun Lakes General Manager, is here to answer questions and discuss topics of interest to the community. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I'm fine. Just enjoying the weather a little bit with a little rain, but it's starting to warm up, so it's good.
Well, there was some blue sky out there this morning, so
There
that was
was.
nice to see.
And still, there's a little bit of snow up on the mountains.
Yes,
so that's
yes.
good.
So, there's lots of things going on in the community
Yes.
right now. We're all keeping busy, I think.
Yes, there is. There's a lot of projects. There's things, food and beverage, golf course, election time.
Election.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, and also California, they're having their special ballot that you have to turn in by March because we have the county officials here collecting ballots. They're in the main clubhouse. So just a tidbit of facts for you before we start off today.
That's really a nice service.
It is. It is.
And I already voted, and
Good.
we took our ballots over there, and we already got confirmation that they'd received our ballots.
Excellent. Excellent.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we have several topics to discuss this morning, so let's get going.
Let's do it.
Okay. On social media, there are many complaints about the hours the sandwich and restaurant are open. Is there a place where operating hours can be found?
Yes, and so there's two ways the member can see it on the website under restaurant. We also have some A-frame signs out in front of the sandwich, South Clubhouse, North Clubhouse. The hours for the sandwich are Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 11 to 3, and then Saturday and Sunday, it's 7 to 3. Now, the Saturday and Sunday, you can pick up your specialty breakfast. Chef Chris is working on some specialty breakfasts that he tries to mix it up on those Saturdays and Sundays. Great opportunity to bring family, friends, have them come visit Sun Lakes. And then on the Wednesday through Friday, 11 to 3, you can still order some breakfast items. If you're like me, you like breakfast for lunch, and you still, we can accommodate you at the sandwich. And so that's where you can find the hours. You can always then message to management, call the reception desk at the main clubhouse as well, because they can assist you with the hours. But those are some of the areas you can find the hours. I know it's been confusing. There's some things going on with construction that's going to be happening. And so you can find that information. We're going to put those A-frames and the signage out so you see it. Our Good Day Sun Lakes team is going to be doing little promotions to let you know what's happening, if something is closing or reopening, etc. You'll get those updates that way.
Well, I've seen lots of good comments on Facebook about the specialty breakfast on the weekends.
Good deal. Good deal.
Well, another thing is there's going to be some kitchen reflooring done
Yes.
here in the next month, that all the food and beverage operations will be closed down for a few days.
Yes, and that's critical. Thank you for bringing that up, because on March 18th, a Monday, all the way to Friday, March 22nd, all restaurant, bar, and sandwich services will be closed. As Anita, you've brought up, there is a safety issue with the epoxy floor in the kitchen. We have to make sure it's safe for our team members. And so they're going to be doing repairs during that 5 days. We will reopen all restaurant, bar, and sandwich operations on Saturday at 11 a.m. Now, critical, because people have asked, well, why don't you leave the bar open for this piece? The problem is all the dishwashing equipment that we can wash our glasses and everything is in the back, in the area that is going to have the floor being worked on. All the alcohol supplies, all of the kegs are in the back where we're doing the flooring. So unfortunately, we can't have just one part open. We need that back kitchen area open to function, to have the bar, the lounge, the sandwich function. So unfortunately, for a week, and we tried to time it because there's a lot of events, ICC, there's some other concerts and everything going on. So we tried to do it during a time that wouldn't inconvenience the members. I know it's an inconvenience to be closed, but we wanted to make it less of an inconvenience and address the safety issue in that back.
Okay. All right. Well, stopping at stop signs continues to be a problem here in Sun Lakes. Again, on social media, a resident asked for volunteers to videotape cars that are either not stopping or only coming to a rolling stop at Country Club Drive and Glen Eagles so that it can be provided to Securitas? Is this something that residents should be handling?
I would prefer residents not get involved because if they see something, let me rephrase that. I'd like them to get involved by communicating to Community Patrol. That is definitely the way it should go. I'm a little hesitant for a member to get out there with their phone and in front of the driver. Right now in this environment of the world, things escalate very quickly, and it could, there could be fisticuffs, whatever that could occur. I understand we do have some members that are from a distance recording the license plate and then sending that to Community Patrol in turn that they can then send a violation. So members can do that, but I'm just very hesitant to put a member in a position where harm can come to them. This world's a little crazy right now, and so we ask members to be careful. If you see it, just tell the name, your location, the type of vehicle, the color of the vehicle, the time, date. If you can get the license plate, that's great, and communicate that to Community Patrol so that we can then follow up with our planning compliance team on that violation.
All right. Well, why does the Pro Shop only carry smaller size clothing for women? I know a lot of other women here in Sun Lakes, would love to purchase and wear clothing with the Sun Lakes logo, but it appears they do not carry anything that will fit ladies who are a size 14 or larger. They carry larger sizes for men. Why not women?
So I appreciate that question coming up. What I'll do is I'll follow up with Brian, and maybe what we can do is in golf updates with Brian that I know Good Day Sun Lakes does, Brian can talk about what he's doing to address that, because in the past I know that was a concern, and I know Brian was trying to address the concern of members of the different cut of clothing, but the size, that's an issue, and so I'll follow up with Brian, and then I will come back at our next coffee with the GM and give you an update as well, and the community.
Okay, that sounds great. Can the lunch menu for the lounge also be made available in the restaurant? For example, a Cobb salad is available on the lounge menu, but it's not on the restaurant's menu. And I know a lot of people really enjoy that Cobb salad.
They do. And so I would encourage members. I'm working with food and beverage. There's some reorganization going on in food and beverage right now. But I understand that there's been some miscommunication. Members should be able to get items from the lounge menu if they're in the restaurant. The lounge is open, the restaurant's open for lunch. So all they need to do is ask the server, hey, can I order from the lounge menu? I'd like this salad, the Cobb salad. And the server should be able to accommodate your request. I know there's been some miscommunication that I had a member say, well, I couldn't. I was told I have to be sitting in the lounge. And so I apologize for that. That's not what should be happening. You should be able to, if you're in the restaurant, be able to order off the lounge menu. And so I'll be following up with the food and beverage team to reiterate that message.
Okay. Can additional hooks to hang jackets be installed in the exercise room in the main clubhouse? Right now, there are not enough hooks, and residents are hanging their jackets on the equipment.
So what I can do is monthly, we do a walkthrough with Bob Walter and Randy Robbins on the facilities, and we look at items in the gyms. This is an item I will take a look myself at the next walkthrough that's coming up and see where the placement of the hooks are. Because I definitely don't want to have to go over to gym equipment. Can you move your jacket or something? There should be ample hooks and everything, and so we can look to address that. And I'll give you an update at the next Coffee with the GM on that too.
Okay. Well, when does it look like the lounge expansion will begin? This is a 3-part question, so we'll take it one step at a time.
Okay, let's do that.
So, when does it look like the lounge expansion will begin?
Okay, so right now the RFPs were received, the requests for proposals were issued and received on February 16th. Right now they're with the Procurement Advisory Committee. They're doing their reviews and recommendations. They'll then turn that to the board. It's about a 2-week process, and then the board will get it. They may have questions, ask the Procurement Advisory Committee, or ask staff to follow up with the vendors. So you're still looking about a 3 to 4 weeks. So it might begin, if approved, at the end of March, early April now.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's taken a while with the planning process. But I do want to note also and thank Jorge Perez, who's with Bing Design and assisting the board with the design and architecture piece of it, has reached out to the city and has worked with the city, and Adam Rush, their planning department head, conveyed that this shouldn't take a long time for the plans to get approved. And so we're grateful to the city of Banning for their assistance, Jorge, for that, because that planning process should be quick. And so again, if we're looking at end of March and early April as a start time, if everything goes right.
Okay. Well, once that happens, where will food be served during the remodel?
Okay, so the food, everything will pivot toward the sandwich. So
Okay.
the lounge would close. You would not be able to go to the lounge or that the bar there. Instead, everything would pivot to the sandwich bar. It would be fully stocked, just like
Okay.
our main bar. The service will be in the sandwich. Also, you might remember in the restaurant, there's that air wall that can close.
Yes.
And so the restaurant, sandwich overflow into the restaurant, that area will be usable while the construction is being done. So the one thing is, members will have to walk around either out the veranda around to the sandwich, or near the pro shop, or park outside of admin and walk to the sandwich for their all meals. Breakfast, lunch, dinner would be handled out of the sandwich. We'll still be doing events out of the ballroom. We still have access to that. When there are large events that are in the ballroom or out on the veranda during construction, we'll also utilize the lobby bar. That bar will help the flow. So members that are having a great time on the veranda don't want to have to walk all the way to the sandwich. If I can have that lobby bar up, they do have 2 taps. They will have wine, beer, and spirits there. We are looking to upgrade some of the locks because the locks are a little flimsy, so we can store alcohol there as well. But that's our goal, is that lobby bar could be utilized during this construction period as well.
Okay. Well, you've pretty much answered the last part of this
Okay.
question. Will the bar and the sandwich be as well stocked as in the lounge?
It will be. That is our goal. We will have the alcohol, the taps, and then again the lobby bar having that tap. That should taps and alcohol should help take some of the pressure off the sandwich.
Okay. Age verification forms for 2024 were just delivered for the March Lifestyles magazine. Would you like to talk about why this form is so important?
So as a reminder, in every 2 years we have to do this. This is federal government has provided an exemption to communities 55 plus, that they must, in order to have this special exemption as senior community, must have over 80% of the residents living here over 55. And so every 2 years it's required, in order to keep that exemption status of a senior community. Every 2 years you're required to fill out a form. It was in the Lifestyles, as you said. You can also get the forms at the main clubhouse reception desk or the administration desk. We ask that you turn those back in as soon as possible, June at the latest. And why it's critical: we have to, everyone who is living in the property, we ask that they fill out an age verification. Not only does it help us comply with federal guidelines, but it also helps us and the district delegates know who is in the house, who should we be serving, who are our audience. And so it's very critical that we get those forms back. And so if we don't reach that 80% threshold of people residing in the community that are over 55 or that are over 55 years of age, then our status can change. And what happens then is this community will revert to a all-age community. You might know places in the desert that have that, or that try to do a part senior, part all ages, and there's some problems there. There's And so to avoid that again, and to keep our exemption of only 55 plus living here, we must have those forms turned in. We are sometimes requested by the federal government to provide those forms and the statistics of how we arrived at the 80%. But it's very critical. And every 2 years we have to go through this.
And I believe everyone in the household needs to fill out a form.
Yes, we ask that everyone that's in the household, again, fills one out. So not only do we comply with the age verification process with the federal government, but then also, again, a key thing for delegates to know who is residing in the community. So again, those delegates and the board and the staff can serve those members.
All right. Well, as we mentioned at the top of this segment, ballots, we're right in the middle of election season here in Sun Lakes, and ballots will be mailed for electing master board members, delegates, and alternate delegates.
Yes.
What is the deadline for returning ballots for the election?
So election day is April 10th. And so we recommend that you send that to the inspectors of election about a week, 7 days, 10 days before the election date. You don't want to get it lost in the mail. It's tax time, so people are sending in their taxes. So again, there's a lot of mail being processed by the Postal Service during that time. So we ask at least 7 days before the election, mail it. If you can't, it's behind that or it's past that date, before 9 a.m. on April 10th, the inspectors of election will be on site to handle the election. They will take your ballot. They will accept it, make sure that it's that you've done the outside envelope correctly and signed it. They'll accept it. You can turn it in before 9 a.m. April 10th at the main clubhouse ballroom. So you have two options: mail it 7 days before April 10th, or on election day, April 10th, deliver it to the inspectors of election at the main clubhouse ballroom.
All right.
Very critical to vote.
Well, we've come to the end of all of our questions or topics. I believe you mentioned there's some ongoing projects. Was there anything else you wanted to mention?
So the lounge expansion project, again, as we talked about, you asked a great question about when that will happen. That's the RFP review with the Procurement Advisory Committee. That is going on. That's taking a lot of our time. We also have a reorganization in the food and beverage operations. We're working with the staff preparing for St. Patrick's Day. Easter is early this year in March, so we're preparing for that. Watch the admin update. We're going to give you some updates on the tickets, the times for that, and how that's going to work. We're also working with golf course maintenance. They have, you might remember hearing in past admin updates, the difficulty with Mark Birchfield trying to get equipment for the golf course maintenance team. That's starting to, he's starting to be able to get equipment as it comes off the assembly line, and an order doesn't, a purchaser doesn't want that piece of vehicle, or that doesn't want that vehicle, Birch can then have an opportunity to purchase that vehicle. And so we have golf course maintenance items going on. We've got food and beverage. We've got the age verification, election. There's just a lot going on right now. You might see Jason and myself, running back and forth to food and beverage operations while we solidify that new director position we're recruiting for right now. So it's just very busy right now.
There's always something going on at Sun Lakes.
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
Well, if that's all we have.
That's it. So thank you very much. Thank you for hosting once again.
You're welcome. I want to thank you for joining us today. If you have questions or a concern that you would like to have addressed, we now have 3 ways that you can send them to the administration office. The first one is visit the Sun Lakes website at sunlakescc.com. And once you've logged in on your member number, you can touch the button that says Message to Management. That's one way of sending it. The second way is at the main clubhouse at the receptionist desk. You can fill out a paper and pencil question and submit it there. Or we also now have our own Sun Lakes website, or app, Sun Lakes app. And it's easy to download from the App Store, and that way you can also submit a message to management. Once again, thank you for joining us today. I'm Anita Lawrence for Good Day Sun Lakes and Coffee with the GM.